So I'm just gonna kind of go through what you need to know before you take your toddler or toddlers, children, to Hawaii. There were some things that if I didn't know, I would have had a much tougher time. Here's your table of contents for this video. We're gonna talk about the trip in general, what you really want in a place that you're staying, the flight stuff, because the flight stuff is always like the stressors. Hey guys, my name is Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, we talk about motherhood, we talk about pregnancy, we do things kind of eco-friendly, kind of natural, hippie, granola. If you're into that, please subscribe. If you're not new here, welcome back. I have a almost 4-year-old, almost 2-year-old, and I am 26 weeks pregnant with our third. Why I'm doing this on the floor, I don't know. It seemed right. Upstairs right now is in shambles. You can't really see it, but this is where my office is. It's gonna be moving downstairs because we're gonna be doing a family bed. I currently co-sleep with both my girls, and when this baby comes, I'm like, what are we gonna do? So we've got like a little nook over here. That's gonna be their room. Hoping that solves the problem there. Also, my husband told me today that I'm looking very granola. So I just chose to take that as a compliment. I'm on Instagram, HEYSHAYLA. I have a podcast, HEYSHAYLA. The other thing I want to tell you about is my flip book. So this flip book is a passion of love. I truly believe that when I'm the most stressed and my kids are like nagging me and they're like, rah, 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 it's because I'm on my phone. Our phones are like distracting us from our lives. When I get really irritable, I'm like, it's because I'm trying to scroll on Instagram and you're trying to interrupt me from my scroll. And I don't love that. New moms, especially when they have their new babies, feeding them, they're just scrolling. So I made this. It's a thought prompt flip book. So it has lots of thought prompts that are supposed to like help you have a positive mindset in motherhood so that when you go in to nurse your baby, you can flip the page. There's 200 prompts and think about these things. What's something my partner and I are working towards together? Like your relationship, when you first have your baby, so I just wanted to give you a lot of positive mindset thought prompts. Go to heyshayla.com/shop and you can grab this. I actually have a price drop on there right now, so go check it out. Okay, today we're gonna talk about going to Hawaii with 2 toddlers pregnant. So I just did a video on why we decided to do that because it sounded insane to me. Hawaii was like my husband's bucket list and I was like, absolutely not. I lived in Hawaii. Before I was a mommy channel, I was a travel channel. And I lived there and it was really cool and I was like, yeah, we should totally go there, but I don't want to fly with 2 small children. And then I was like, but we're pregnant with our third, so if we don't do it now, we're gonna do it in like 10 years. So let's just do it. Let's just do it. So I'm just gonna kind of go through what you need to know before you take your toddler or toddlers, children, to Hawaii. There were some things that that if I didn't know, I would have had a much tougher time. So here's your table of contents for this video. We're gonna talk about the trip in general, the things that you have to know about going to Hawaii with kids. We're gonna talk about what you really want in a place that you're staying, like an Airbnb, to make your trip more enjoyable. The flight stuff, because the flight stuff is always like the stressors. So my biggest, you should save like the best tip for the last. No, I want to make sure that this one is dialed in and heard. My biggest tip for traveling with kids is get your mind right. It is like 90% mindset because your kids are going to be kids. It's you who has to like adjust. Just knowing what to expect, and then when it showed up, you were like, okay, we're ready. We broke it up into 2 flights. So a flight went to the West Coast and then from the West Coast to Hawaii. On that West Coast to Hawaii, it was like their bedtime. So they should have at least slept for a little bit of it. And she did, a little bit of it. And when we got there, she woke up. She wanted to walk. She wanted to not stay sleeping. She wanted to carry her own bag. And she wanted to sob while doing all of that because she was so tired. We were so calm. We just kept asking her, what do you want? What do you need right now? We were really good about not getting annoyed because you're overwhelmed. You've got all these bags. You've got to go get your car. You have to like do all these things. And now your kids just screaming. Like we just like got on their level and we're like, okay, I get it. You've been awake for a very long time. In doing that, she like calmed down. She started to enjoy it. She's like, we're going to take a bus, which is like a shuttle, to the car. This is so exciting. She was wide freaking awake. The baby was in the carrier and she was sleeping the whole time. Then when on your trip, you're not going to have this relaxing vacation that you've had in the past. You're not going to be able to explore all these places or like go off into these little areas that I did when I traveled before. I need to make sure my children are safe. I need to make sure that they're fed. I need to make sure that they're offered a car nap or a nap. Like it's just more thinking about them than it is about like, oh, I'm in Hawaii and I get to lay on the beach and where's my cocktail? I wanted to go on a helicopter tour or a boat tour. I wanted to see the Nepali coast. You could drive to it and see it, but when we got there, my kids were in meltdown town and it was cloudy. And so I was like, can we just wait 5 minutes? Because I know the clouds are going to pass. And my husband was like, Shay, was like, okay, you're right. It's about them, for us at least. That's how we travel with kids. It's like, this is an experience for us, but for us it's so fulfilling to just go to these places and see it through their eyes. Mindset's the first thing that I can say, and specifically for Hawaii, there's a time change. And I had a friend be like, yeah, the kids were waking up every morning at 4. And I was like, that sounds terrible. But then I was like, what? Okay. And we had a 5-hour time change. So literally, I started journaling about this because I interviewed a mindset coach, and she says, journal the event like it's happening or like it happened and how you want to respond. So I was like, okay. The kids wake up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and I wake up excited to be in Hawaii. I go get myself some coffee. We're gonna turn on the TV with absolutely no guilt. We're gonna maybe make some breakfast, maybe not. I'm gonna let my husband sleep because I've learned that 1 tired parent is better than 2. No guilt there. And I'm gonna set myself up. So I want to make sure that I've got some coffee, get to bed at a decent time so I'm not staying up crazy late the night before this happens. So I'm like thinking about all these things ahead of time. So then literally at 3 a.m. when the baby woke up and said, all done sleep, I was like, here we are. We're in Hawaii. We made it. We made it through that flight. It's the first morning here. I have coffee for myself. I also brought oatmeal. I just want at least something that we can eat. And we turned on a show. Sis woke up an hour later. She came out with us. My husband slept until he woke up. I was surprisingly awake because it was 8 a.m. our time. So my body was kind of like, okay, this seems like a decent time to get up. And I was like, everything's fine. This is fine. But I had to do that journaling before I did it on the plane. Just what to expect, because when it came, I was ready for it. I almost wanted to keep like the 3, 4, 5 a.m. wake up so that it didn't get so late that when we got home, it was all jacked up again. So, yeah, that was another thing. Also, on vacation, all bets are off. These girls snacked way more than they ate any meals. Car naps or skip naps. Just have to accept that that's okay. We're not at home. We don't have the like things that we're normally used to, but we're gonna do the best that we can. If we forgot something, it's okay. Like if I tell you one of these things like, oh, bring oatmeal, and then the first morning you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot oatmeal. I should do some. No, it's not. It's fine. What's your next move? Just try not to stress about things. We choose to rent Airbnbs because our kids are still napping. Kind of locked to the room, but like quietly. I don't know. So we just decided we need a bedroom with a door so that they can take naps. Or when they go to sleep at night, they can be in the living room and hang out with each other. That's the number one thing for our Airbnb. The bonuses are a pool, because then if you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything, but these children need to do something, let's go down to the pool. It's just like an easy activity that they are obsessed with that you can just like walk down to. It's not that it's not going to take energy once you're there, because obviously you got to like pay attention to your kids in the pool. At least you don't have to go drive somewhere. You also want a kitchen. That will help you save money. You can buy food. We make eggs in the morning. That helps fill us up for the rest of the day. It's a cheap breakfast. Like the other one that I don't know why this is like the creme de la creme, but a laundry machine. I packed half the clothes I needed to pack. I did a load of laundry every day because we had towels and dirty clothes, swimsuits. If I didn't find an Airbnb with a laundry place, I would literally look for a laundry mat. Why am I yawning? Where I could do a load of laundry at least halfway through my trip. Probably halfway through and at the end, because I like going home with clean clothes. The laundry machine is like the best. A couple days before I leave, I start making a list. Like, okay, it was nap time. I use the sound machine. I use the baby monitor. We take our vitamins, the detangler, and the comb. We just like start making a list of things that we are physically using every single day that I will probably want to bring with us. That way, when I go to pack, I'm like, okay, got it. The other thing that I severely underestimated was just pregnancy. I don't know. I just think that I'm unfazed by it. Like, oh, it'll be fine. I'm just pregnant. It's no big deal. Like, I was exhausted. So my husband really, like, I took the mornings, and then he took, like, the pool activity time. And I listen to audiobooks all the time, but, like, audiobooks at the pool are like the greatest thing ever, because I can still feel like I'm kind of involved by like watching what they're doing while listening to my book. So there's my little tip. But yeah, pregnancy during all that was no joke. It was definitely an added element that I did not consider and that I just pushed through. So that's kind of like mindset, what we look for in an Airbnb. Now the flight. Snacks are huge. I just bring a whole bag of snacks, just done. I bring like blueberries and stuff because it's nice to have some fresh blueberries, apples, like already cut up, and then just like your typical snacks. Trying to plan the flight during nap time or bedtime is, in my opinion, amazing, because they're either going to nap or they're not, and then they'll fall asleep better once you get there. If you're gonna fly bedtimes, so like a red eye, know that probably your kids are gonna sleep. It's gonna be great. You probably won't. That's exactly what happened to us. Seth didn't sleep at all. And then we landed in Minnesota at like 11 a.m. So we had a full day of like kids who had had a great night's sleep. And then I slept for like 3 hours maybe. So that day was pretty brutal. I always try and get them like some sort of new toy. I got her a Polly Pocket set and like a Busy book so that it was something novel and exciting and it held their attention a little bit longer. I did bring their Tonys. I have their tablets, not above tablets or screen time for travel. Let's do it. I prefer the corded headphones. One, I don't like Bluetooth to the brain. Two, the flights that we were on, you could plug your headphones right into the thing and watch different shows that weren't on the tablet. So we like hardly use the tablets. We got this hammock thing. It's a hammock seat thing. It attaches to the tray table and then to the seat, and it just extends their seat. They're either just like sitting there so their feet aren't dangling, they're like supported, which is really nice, or they're sleeping. Or I just was straddling it and the baby was laying right there. I really liked that hammock thing. You can get them on Amazon. There's a bunch of different versions. I'm sure they all work similarly. I was very concerned that it was gonna rock the seat in front of us, but that didn't seem to be a problem. And then I get them little eye masks because once you land, the lights come super bright on. So the baby doesn't like wearing the eye mask, but the toddler loves it. And so we just put her eye mask on. We brought her out to the airport for a layover, brought her back on. She like slept through the whole thing. We brought a wagon. Wagons are hit or miss because technically they're not a stroller, so you're supposed to check them and pay for them. I got a stroller bag and broke it all down, put it in the stroller bag, went to the gate check and gave it to them, and it was fine on the way out. On the way back, they were like, oh, I see that you have a wagon. We don't allow those on. You have to check it at the curb. You can't check it at the gate. And I was like, but this is like what we cart them in. Seth was like, they don't even sit in it first. Yeah, they didn't really sit in the wagon much. They wanted to like run around. I think we could have done without it. It was nice actually to use as a cart for the bags sometimes. I think if your kid's small, I would just bring a carrier. We didn't use it while we were traveling. It just stayed in the van. It was literally just for the airport. So for us, it probably wasn't worth it. In the end, we were like, I'm glad that we did this. It was expensive as like I'm gonna be paying off this trip for the next 3 years, I'm pretty sure. Not actually, but like it was so expensive. Every meal was like $20 per person. So we went to Costco and tried to get as much as we could there, and we didn't even do anything. The girls were too young to go on the boat. My husband was absolutely adamant that we did not do the helicopter. There just wasn't activities for us to do. So we found a few recommendations for beaches. So we just went to different beaches and they loved that. We bought them once we got there like a sand castle making kit. They love just digging in the dirt. Seth did a surf lesson one day. That was super cool. The girls got to get on the surfboard. That was cool. But we just like went to the beach, dug in the sand. It was awesome. The roosters woke us up every morning. Like it was a very cool experience. And overall, we're glad that we did it. And we feel confident. Our kids are great travelers. And honestly, I feel like the best time to travel with like a new baby is like the first 4 months. The kids just fall asleep, wake up. Like they can't crawl yet. It's pretty simple. If you told me that with my first, I wouldn't have believed you at all. But I'm telling you, with my third, if we could travel like in the first 4 months, that would be ideal. That being said, we were like, if we do travel again, Hawaii was great. We're also people that don't like want to repeat places. So we're like, I think the next place would be Mexico because we're coming from Minnesota. So that's where that 5-hour time difference is. Mexico is, or like Costa Rica or somewhere that's like more just straight south. It's a shorter flight. Mexico's 4 hours from Minnesota. We're in the same time zone, depending on where you go. Coming from like a budget traveler, I think with kids, an all-inclusive would be absolutely be the way to go. My family has done all-inclusives when we were little, and it was a blast. It just feels like with small children, it's easy. You don't have to drive anywhere. You've got food right there. You've got pools right there. You've got entertainment right there. Everything that you need is like right there. But we're glad we went to Hawaii. You gotta get your mind right. I was telling Seth how I was so proud of us for like dealing with these early wake ups, tantrums that were happening, and just like that we just kept it light and we were just like still so stoked to be there. And okay, the battery just died, so that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope this was helpful. I hope that it's encouraging, and I hope that you just think about realistic expectations and the kind of like what you want your trip to be like with kids, because it's just different. I hope you don't judge me too much for this trash bag in the background. the next time I make these videos, it will be in a different room. Thank you guys for watching. If you found this helpful, please like the video. I've got videos coming out about how we chose to go for a third, the differences between my 3 pregnancies, and you can try and guess gender from that. Baby, girl, and boy names. I love those. So if you're interested in any of those, please subscribe so that you get notified when they are live. And I will talk to you guys all next time. Mwah. Bye.